Hi, my name is David Amador with High School Sports Magazine, and we are here at Chick-fil-A to present the top awards for High School Sports Magazine All-South Texas team. And the reason we're here in Harlingen is because in a unique position that we're in, we have the most valuable player and the coach of the year and several players that were named to our first team from Harlingen. But before I get started, I want to recognize Mr. Powers, our school board member for Harlingen Campus. Are there any other school board members here that I need to recognize, or administrators? Nope, okay. And also I'd like to recognize the store operator owner of Chick-fil-A, Mr. Frank Cassiano. And is there anybody else that wants to be recognized just for the heck of it? No? Okay. So I can get started. Okay. Anyway, it's a joy for High School Sports Magazine to be here and to be part of Harlingen and this community. We have partnered up with Chick-fil-A of the Rio Grande Valley. They are our partners. They're one of our big corporate sponsors that we have a pleasure of sharing moments like this with our players. Also, tonight, we're going to talk about the Harlingen Cardinals. Okay? The Harlingen Cardinals had a great season, and they continue having more great seasons. We see a lot of football teams throughout the entire Rio Grande Valley, and throughout the Rio Grande Valley, a lot of talent, but when it gets down to the playoffs, we see who makes the playoffs, we see who doesn't make the playoffs. In Texas, football is big, real big, probably the biggest sport in Texas itself, but the best part is that you can ask any football player, I don't care where that person lives in Texas, would you have loved to have made the playoffs as a football player? Their answer is yes. Hell yeah. Would you have loved to have gone one round? They're going to sit there and say, yep. 2 rounds? Definitely. And think about this. In Amarillo, Dallas, Houston, El Paso, they're still playing for the same thing. The area playoffs, regionals, quarterfinals, state semifinals, because you have 4 regions that come together at the end, and the best of each region will play in the semifinals till we get to the state champion. We almost did that here in Harlingen. And when you think about that, think about the Rio Grande Valley. In Houston and Dallas, the athletes up there, it's a different demographic of athletes. They're big and bigger, faster and faster, okay? But what was so intriguing was we're going to the Abilene game at Hero Stadium in San Antonio. We were there as High School Sports Magazine, and it was probably one of my most proudest moments of watching a football team come together, because there's one thing Coach Gomez has always talked about. He's talked about heart and lots of it, but most importantly, family coming together. And when you have family and you have a lot of heart, I've talked to coaches in other parts of the state, and that's what they love about the Rio Grande Valley, is that these guys give it all on a football Friday night. And they finish it, whether they win or lose. And that's what I love about sports in the Rio Grande Valley. You see it, and even though, and I'm still trying to figure this one out, why do football players always cry at a football game, you know, whether they win or lose? But you see, you know, everybody else in baseball or whatever, it's like for some reason, these guys have a passion for the game. And I experienced that passion from watching these kids, because as a father, I was able to experience the same thing with my son, who played against the state champions from 2010, which was Cibolo Steel. My son played for McAllen Memorial. And so it was exciting. But what was more exciting is watching Harlingen in their route to the state title, and we almost got there. We were short of getting there, and I know Coach Gomez from the very beginning, he said, we can do it. He never says, no, we can't. He's always saying, we're going to do it. And he always puts in that efforts of saying, a lot of hard work, a lot of discipline, and so on and so forth. And I'm sure when I see football players out there from all different teams, it's so intimidating to watch the Harlingen Cardinals walk onto a football field, because by the time these guys walk on a football field, the other teams are already intimidated. And that's amazing, because when you talk about playing the Harlingen Cardinals, the other team pretty much already lost. just thinking about that mindset, intimidation factor. And those are the things that I see Coach Gomez, what he has brought to the program. And he's one of the youngest coaches with one of the winningest records out there in the state of Texas right now. In 5 years? 5 years that he has been out there as a coach, he has done a lot of wonders, from district titles, by-district titles, regional championships, and even now a quarterfinal appearance. So I want to congratulate Coach Gomez. You are an All-South Texas Coach of the Year. And by doing so, you know, at High School Sports Magazine, you know, I started thinking, I told Coach Gomez, you know what, I have something special for you, but I didn't know what it was. I told him it was going to be like a plaque, a boring plaque that you hang on the window. And then I started thinking about what we were about. We're about capturing those moments, those special moments. And this is a special moment that we capture.
Well, what can I say, guys? It's one of those things that, you know, I was blessed to given the opportunity to lead this group of kids that just believe in each other. They out there, go out there and play hard for each other. It was really the easiest thing to do this with this group of kids because, for one, the mentality, you never have to tell these kids twice. And at the same time, they knew that I was the biggest supporter. They knew that I was the biggest fan. And most importantly, I was the biggest critic. You know, it's one of those things that it was a love and hate relationship sometimes with some of these guys. But they understood that I was gonna be there for them through the good, through the bad. And this is just an example. Because one of the guys that's carrying me here, his name is Ben Aleman. That kid has changed his life in a very positive way, and that's one of the reasons why I was real thankful that he stuck it out, because it reassures me that I'm in this business to make a difference in kids' lives, not to win football games. That's not what I'm here for. But when you take that attitude and you show the kids that you truly care about them, they play extremely hard for you. And this is an example of that. I'm going to share this for a long, long time. But I really appreciate that, man.
Congratulations. As we move on, I looked at, when we make the selection for the All-South Texas team, there's honorable mentions, there's third teams, second teams, first teams, but with High School Sports Magazine, we only recognize one team, and that's the best selections that we feel from the entire Rio Grande Valley. So I'm thinking about putting this team together in a real football game. And so if that football game actually came together, I'm asking myself, well, who's the best of the best? Who would these players be that I would want to coach on my team? So, starting with our next player, and these are the plaques that we give, Anthony Barrera. These are your buddies, man. Congratulations.
Coach?
Okay. One of the other things, when we're looking at defense and how defense wins games, I listen to coaches throughout the Rio Grande Valley, and Coach Gomez is probably, I don't know, he has a passion for hitting and hitting hard because he was a linebacker himself. Yeah. But he seems to teach these guys how to hit and hit hard. And one of the players that stuck in my mind when I see him out there is this gentleman, Daniel Ramirez. But when we talk about in every game, there's always that spiritual leader, no matter how we look at it. And you see it on the football field with NFL players, college players, high school players. And for some reason, you always have that spiritual leader that tends to bring that team together with those words of wisdom and reciting biblical phrases out of the Bible. But even more so, having the faith to believe in yourself and to believe in your teammates. That's why we believe that Nathan Bravo deserves his photo. And like every football game, there's always players out there trying to figure out what I should have done or what I could have done or what I did do. And that's why we feel that when we look at this photo, we would love Daniel Ibarra to be part of our team as well. Where is he? Okay, well, here he is. Okay, he's part of our team too. You know, at the beginning of the football season, when Harlingen played Corpus Christi Carroll, you know, in our mindset, we're thinking about, ooh, Corpus Christi Carroll, San Antonio schools, they always seem to have good football teams. And we picked the Harlingen Cardinals as the team to beat at the beginning of the school year. And the funny thing was is that you wonder how good they were going to be. And then they come and beat Carroll. What was the final score? 77? 72-0? And so, I guess Jesus displays that moment. You know, as the season progressed, you know, just usually a carryover from the year before, and you watch these players mature, and I kept asking myself, well, how good is this guy? How good is Randy? I mean, how fast is this guy? I mean, is he all that good? And then we see throughout the whole year that he was good enough, but, you know, if Coach would have said, Kevin, keep throwing to Randy because he's going to catch more than 3,000 yards in passing yardage, he probably would have done it. But Randy had a great year, and we love you, man. Who's blocking for him? Who's blocking for him?
It's like, Randy, we love you, man, but this picture goes down.
Congratulations.
What a great block. Good job. Good game, good game. What a great block. We're actually going to mail this to the line players.
One of the things that, you know, I asked Coach prior to doing the selections, because we were running out of slots, and we were running out of slots on who we wanted to pick on our All-South Texas team. But I do recall that Charlie Powers was a very, very good punter when he had to punt. And so, we didn't catch him punting, but we did catch him catching. We're recognizing Mr. Powers here as our punter for our football team for All South Texas.
What did we punt against? We didn't punt, did we? That was practice, wasn't it?
It was 4th and 20 when you decided to
This next player, okay, we came to see this kid, and the funny thing was, you know, in our mind, as sports writers, we see players, and usually they're as big as they look. And you know, when I met Kevin, I didn't realize how big he really was. You know, 5'8", 5'9", but this kid, big on the football field. We saw him run, we saw him pass, we saw him cheer, we saw him cry, we saw him do everything. And at the end of the year, you know, I saw him get a big hug from his coach, and his coach told Kevin in Kingsville, it's going to be all right. And we believe that, and everything's always going to be all right. But out of all the players that are quarterbacks throughout the whole entire Rio Grande Valley, we felt that if High School Sports Magazine was going to have a football team, I would love Kevin to be our most valuable player on that football team. Remember this game?
Remember that player?
He's huge.
Give it to me.
We believe that photos are the best moments that any athlete can have. And so this is our way of saying congratulations on being part of our All-South Texas football team for High School Sports Magazine 2011 and 2012. And we wish you all the best. And words of wisdom is very simple. Go to college. Go to college, get a degree, and become successful individual, so that way you can share these special moments with your wife and your kids of the future. And never give up. Robert Vela, a very dear personal friend of mine, he was the Edinburgh Bobcat coach who died of cancer a while back. And I remember seeing him the day before he passed, and we sat. And Robert, you know, at that moment, if you could see a man all the way to the end, he still was able to tell me these words of wisdom, and I'm going to share them with you guys. Never give up. Never give up being who you want to be. And those are the words he told me to share with you guys. That through adversity, it's okay. Meet it, and meet it head on. If you got studying to do in college, don't cry about it. Do your homework, because professors are not going to be telling Kevin, come to school. They're not going to be saying, Jesus, come to school. They're not going to say, Randy, don't go to practice. They're not going to say anything, Mr. Powers. They're just going to say, too bad. If you don't show up for class, they're going to drop you. And then that's it. But the best thing about everything here, these moments are forever. Not just in football, but in everything that you do. I'm Touchdown Dave for High School Sports Magazine. If y'all want pictures, by the way, we have plenty of photos. And yes, we do sell them, by the way. But if y'all want to get in touch with us, just let us know. And we're on our website. Send us an email. But we have great moments, okay, to share with y'all. So thank you all very much for coming. And we want to thank Mr. Castellanos. Do you have anything to say, sir? Share your thoughts?
Yeah, just a while back ago, several weeks back, we had a setting like this where we were honoring Kevin after the game in San Antonio, I believe. And I was talking to his dad, and one of the things that we discussed in that short conversation was, you know, gee, wouldn't it be fun if we were sitting here later and talking about how great the next week was, and the next week, and the next week, and could it carry on and carry on and carry on? And here we are, season over, and you guys are on top of that hill. So that's a great thing, great thing to be part of. You guys have done a lot for the community that is immeasurable. You've moved the community in ways that haven't moved before in many, many, many years. I mean, you've taken us to where these guys took us 20 years ago, I believe, right? And so, but now it's kind of like, what's next? And so You know, at Chick-fil-A, we say it's not about the chicken sandwich. With you guys, it's just about football. But it's a greater thing around the influence and the impact that you have on people. And we're just glad that we're able to be part of that with you. And just continue making a difference in everything you do. Because where you start off doesn't have to determine where you end up. The one chapter's closing with football, but the next one's beginning with college and what you do with the rest of your life. So we appreciate it and thank you for allowing us to be part of that.
Guys, in essence, and adding on to everything else, look at the colors that you're wearing today, guys. For the last time. Never stop being a Harlingen Cardinal. It's in you. This is who you are. I'm a Weslaco Panther, and I'm going to say that. Okay? And I bleed purple and white. I live in McAllen. My son goes to McAllen Memorial High School. But you know what? In me, this is who I am. This is who you are. Forever. It's never going to end. So, good luck, and thank you for coming. Oh, we got beautiful cake too. Let's come over here. Let's have the players over here, please.
I don't know.